The big news this week came from Otherside. So, and this is otherside.xyz. So this is the website for the sale. Classic Bored Ape Yacht Club. There is no information here, but we did get information on a tweet, which I will pull up here. So this was the long-awaited moment. We saw, Ape token is up to about, I think, $19. There was a huge run-up from about $11 or $12 in preparation for this tweet, essentially, which is the details on how you would get it, the details on what it's going to be priced in, and a couple more pieces. But right off the bat, Dickens is in the chat saying, here for the KYC alpha. And the tweet also says the KYC on Something is Brewing is going to allow you to take part in Saturday's Mint. And there's a ton of people who didn't KYC themselves. Is this a person who did KYC himself? No. I'm trying to get the audio. There you go. I'm working on it.
No, dude. It's not that I didn't try to KYC. It's that, like, a lot of people, I had issues with the KYC. I had issues with it accepting my address or my license, and then I had an issue with it confirming my address, and it was bad.
Yeah.
But no, I got backup plans, man. Don't worry about me. I got plenty of 8.
Okay, I got you. All right, so the details here, the sale is going to be on 4:30. That's going to be, I believe, this weekend. Let me check this out. So it's going to be on Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard. There are going to be airdrops to holders. We did see that. And then they obviously talked about the only people that can take part in this sale are ones that KYC. This was earlier on, I believe, like a month ago. They opened this up. I think Animoca Brands initially tweeted about it. Dutch auction style, I believe, from... I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong here, Ronan, but I think they said 300 ape was going to be.
They haven't said. It. Price is going to come out at some point this week. We're hoping today, but it doesn't look like today. Probably tomorrow.
Yeah. So a couple more things, and stop me if you see anything that you guys want to touch on. But BAYC and MAYC holders are going to have a free claim, so it's not going to be a straight airdrop. They're going to be able to claim, and there's no KYC for that. Again, ApeCoin is going to be. For that auction. They're talking about security, which of course we'll get into. And yeah, I mean, that's not a ton of details, but it was enough for people to kind of understand that, hey, that we at least have a date and a time for this land sale. So, I mean, I'll open it up. Any details that you saw, Ronan, Flubber, or Kagi on the Metaverse land sale, or I guess ape sale, we don't really know what it is for, that you want to touch on?
I feel like KYC, I'm not for it, but we're going to be seeing a lot of that in many projects, so you got to get used to it. And if you're a Bored Ape, you're into Bored Ape, you're going to do whatever you got to do to get your whatever asset is going to be. Like you said, we don't know. Looks like a land. But for me personally, I'll just wait for secondary market. And, the land prices are going to rise like crazy. It's hard to tell if it's going to hold their value. But, like being Bored Apes, it probably will. That's the problem. I don't think there's going to be a big dip ever. So I don't know. I'm just going to wait and see what's up. I have no other input on that, to be honest.
I think the precedents that it sets where, you expect folks to KYC without telling them what they're KYCing for. I think that's kind of a strange precedent to set. But I get that, it's part of getting the alpha, I guess. If you got to take the risk. I mean, I worked with privacy for like 3 years, so I'm not going to give people my information without knowing why or what they're going to do with it. But I completely get why people would do it. And in this case, it's paid off, right?
Great point.
Yeah. I think the more interesting question to me is why you need to KYC, right? Like if it's a land sale, then why do you have to KYC for this one, but we haven't had to KYC for Sandbox, for instance, right? So I think the interesting conversation, in my opinion, is more so why did you have to KYC for whatever they're selling this weekend? And around that speculation, there's been a lot thrown around, whether or not it's to buy land, and because you're buying land, it, in some jurisdictions maybe it's required. I don't really understand, and that's where like people are like, okay, and is there going to be a secondary market? Because if you had to KYC for the primary market, then why would you be able to just pick up like an asset on the secondary market without KYC, right? Which leads me to the secondary part, which I think you've got the pitch deck, right? Like in the pitch deck, it talks about the idea that they have about this metaverse and how ApeCoin is kind of like the core, right? So what if, along with having to like, purchase an ApeCoin, the drop is also on their own marketplace, right? And if you hit the little square on the right of that, yeah, it'll bring it. And if it's on their own marketplace, then maybe you have to KYC to get on that marketplace. And then once you get on the marketplace, you're able to purchase on the secondary, and everything has to be done via ApeCoin. I'm not sure. I don't know. We're trying to figure it out, right? Like I think like the whole like community is trying to figure out like what this whole situation is, and to Flubber's point, like it does, me personally, makes me feel super uncomfortable that like, I mean, I didn't get the KYC anyways, right? But like they still haven't said what the hell this is. All they've said is like, hey, the KYC that you did is specifically for this weekend. Yeah, you're getting to the metaverse stuff now. And so what is it for? How's it going to work? I mean, we can talk a little bit about like what the speculation is around like how the land is going to work.
Yeah.
But, like,
I don't think that they turned down anyone via this KYC, but if I had to bet, it would probably be because of some type of revenue share down the line. I think a lot of people have talked about revenue share from the game going to the landowners, and that would need to be subject to KYC. So that's my guess on that one, but I'll continue. I'll leave the floor open for you guys. And
how do you handle secondary, right? Because now if I own the land and I just sell the land, can't I just go to OpenSea and sell it to some anon, right? Like, and now you have an anon who owns a piece of land who's going to get rev share. So like, that's like,
but then Yuga's not putting themselves in that scenario. It's a secondary market piece. They're just removing the risk from themselves. I'm sure Flubber knows more about risk than all three of us combined, but
Ronan, it's kind of the same thing with Coinbase. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. I think there's a delay here.
No, I was just gonna say they're at least in some way, they're going to kind of release the liability on themselves as an organization. For anything you do. It's like, when you buy a car or any other item, right? As soon as you take that item and sell it to someone else, well, it's not the producer's responsibility anymore. So I can see maybe they had a legal team going, we suggest you do it this way.
It's like Coinbase or Binance, right? You could buy anything there, right? You KYC into Coinbase, you KYC into Binance, FTX, and then you could just send it to a decentralized wallet and swap it on Uniswap or Radium on Solana or whatever, and then somebody else has it without KYC, right? So it's exactly the same thing. I don't see a problem there. I think like Rooney said, it's about that first kind of line of people buying. They're taking no risk there. So,
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And to the point, Dekenza's, they asked if absolutely everybody thinks Ape Land is going to be huge. Is there any room for counter argument? Is it too much quantity? Is it loot too long to the dev? My thing is like, we don't have any idea. Like, we have no idea how far Otherside is along. We have no idea who's involved. We don't know how big the development team is, right? All we know is that they have these really big aspirations. And to their point, that what's really missing, right, like in the metaverse is like this core like purpose, right? And so they're building this through the NFT projects, like all the ones they partnered with in this video, right, that you saw. So it's going to be interesting for sure. In my opinion, I don't like to what Kagi said earlier. I can't imagine a world where like if you get in and you buy, whether this is land, whether it's quotas, that this is a bad play, right? Not financial advice, but like when we're talking about like, does this have staying, regardless of the quantity, regardless of if they say it's going to be 4 or 5 years to like, get there, like right now, initially, I think like we see what we usually see with their stuff. It's like, it's going to go, it's going to increase. And I don't see it like decreasing unless we hit some like really shit.
It's going to moon. It's going to moon. It's going to moon. But based on everything that we have seen in NFTs and tokens as well, it goes like this, boom, and then it comes down, and I'm going to wait for that. I'm going to wait for that moment and see if it's something I even like. I'm tired of buying stuff like, during these 2 years, I've been buying like stuff that, let's see what happens. No, now I want to know kind of like, what's the vision? What's the vision here? Because, I want to feel connected with what I'm buying. Even if I'm trying to make money too, I want to have both things in what I'm buying. Feel connected and also the ability to sell because it's a good product, right? Not just like, oh, it's a good product, I want to sell it. I want to feel connected to it. So I'm looking for both things at the same time.